Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Jet Joe here today. We're coming at you with basically not the genuine intention I had building this, but ended up running to be what it is. This is going to be 100% pure DDD deck list that I will be showcasing you guys. I'm not going to get too much into the deck. I will go over and tell you some of my ratios and stuff like that. But the main purpose of this video is how we play around with certain hand traps. I'm not going to show you a certain hand or anything. I'm just gonna randomize a hand, place it out, and then place the dominant hand traps that will probably be in the format, or more than likely will hit our deck, like Ash, Imperm, Nibiru, and I'll just make a random hand and then see how we can play around it. I'll also show you some of the combos that I've came up with, more so playing it. I've got a couple of those I want to show you, so again, I'll just quickly go through those and explain what I'm doing. And I'm just gonna bundle this all into one video because I think it's a very good way to educate you guys on how the deck can actually play through Ash, Imperm, whatever, right? Obviously, the deck got a lot better. It has a lot more ways to extend, a lot more ways to play. But like I said, through testing, it just ended up being me pretty much just playing pure. I started off with 20 cards in the extra deck, just testing this recently, and ended up simmering down to the last 15 cards I wanted, and I think it's working really well. I'll get into my ratios later on and why I'm not playing certain things. Why I am playing certain things and how they implement themselves in the combos that I found and stuff like that, right? There's so many different things you can do when with the deck now. It's just insane. It's just an unlimited amount of combo options you can do. There's no right or wrong way. There's so many different ways you can go about it. That's what's kind of a good challenge, right? I mean, the synchro build from now, that I play, it's more so just your main goal is to get that one combo, but then there's a lot of interruptions you gotta face, so you gotta have to build up to the best possible board you can through the interruptions or what you're given, right? Whereas this instance, there's so many even 1-card combos with this deck if you really want, but so many 2, 3, 4-card combos, and then how you can play through certain interruptions, and that all just stacks on, and it's all new stuff, right? We have till early February to be testing with this stuff, so guys, there's still so much more time to figure out certain things, find out different things, find out cool decks we can play in the deck, right? So yeah, that's enough of me talking. I'm just gonna jump right into this video because it's gonna be a fairly long one. Like I said, I'm gonna be going over the deck list. I'm gonna be showcasing you guys a couple combos I've figured out recently, and I'll be showcasing you guys randomized hands with set up hand traps and try to play through those, right? So yeah, let's get right into this video. Let's go. All right, guys. So let's just jump right into this. So again, this is pretty much pure. I'm not gonna be showing you an extra deck or certain. I will have a couple cards you can play through here. You guys are probably already seeing Rage going oh, why am I not playing it? I'll get into that later. But yeah. Anyways, I'll put these cards, the spare cards here, whatnot, and let's get right into the deck profile. So we're starting off the 3-ofs. So 3 Kepler, 3 Swirl Slime, this is all standard, right? 3 Necro Slime. Through testing, I was thinking, I actually cut this down to 2 a lot in testing just because there's I found there's a ton of ways to access this card now. But you still want to draw this just because it's part of a lot of combos, right? And it's just your main extender, right? It's main card to get your combos rolling is Necro Slime. I think Necro Slime is one of the most important combo pieces outside of Swirl and stuff. So now anyways, so yeah. So we're playing that at 3. Triple Lamia, Triple Griffin. This is honestly probably the best card in the deck at this point. The card just has so many utility options. It's just nuts. And for the last 3 of Copernicus. So we're playing 18 3-ofs here. So we're going 3 Kepler, 3 Swirl, 3 Necro, 3 Lamia, 3 Griffin, 3 Copernicus. These two together are a full combo essentially in this deck. I'll show you a 3-card combo with Kepler, Griffin, and Copernicus later on that I've realized. I showcased you one before, but I'm playing different cards now. Kind of ended up in the same thing, but I think a bit better. So yeah. So 18 cards for 3-ofs. Another in English, I think that's 6 3-ofs. So yeah, those are all pretty standard. Copernicus and Griffin are easily 3-ofs. There's no debate about that whatsoever. And 2-ofs, I'm playing Ragnarok. You could play 3 Ragnarok if you want. This card is very important, but I'm actually not playing Desires anymore, just because this pure build wants certain cards in the main deck. Pure anyways. So Ragnarok, I'm just playing at 2. You can just play him at 2 realistically, but I was only really playing 3 because of desires, and I really need him for my combos, right? So yeah, just playing 2 Ragnaroks. Ragnarok's still just an amazing card. And for the one-ofs, let's lay them all out here. So here's the one-ofs. So center this. DD Apocalypse, he's crucial for a lot of combos and extender plays. Thomas is really good just for giving you recursion to add from your extra deck on the main phase. And Thomas and Orthros. Orthros is really good for the combos, but these two are really necessary for the 2-card combo that I'll showcase you guys. And DD Ghost is actually just a card. DD Ghost is utilized for pretty much all your combos now. And DD Vice Typhon, because Typhon, DD Flame High King Genghis needs a level 5 or higher. So the reason why we're playing Typhon is because, again, it's like another way to combo. You Foolish Burial this most of the time, and then it allows you to keep going because then you can use this and any other DD to make your High King Genghis without wasting one of your Genghises. That way you can just make your rank 6 really easy, right? And then just, again, Big Genghis is just another card that can help keep you doing your combos going, right? So yeah, Vice Typhon's actually pretty necessary now. I would not cut this card. And yeah, so that's a 25 monster count for the DDDs. And 25 count monster count for the deck. We're not playing any hand traps. So let's go on to the spells. 3 gate, 1 Swamp King, 1 patent to Dark Contract Documents. 3 gate, standard obviously Swamp King. Not going to talk about this too much. And then Swamp King's pretty crucial obviously. And then Documents, I'm just playing it at 1. It is a good card to play up. I vouched to play 2 of it before. That's mainly because I was playing Desires. But it is still good to play 2 if you have room, just because hard drawing this is actually really good, so you don't have to search it. And it's also a good card because if you open 2, you can just knock it out and then just recycle any DD card from your extra deck or from your graveyard. So 5 contract cards. Moving on to the other spells. So for draw power, just playing 3 Allure. I think Allure is actually, I don't know, like up to you if you want to play it or not, just because there's a lot of 2-card combos this deck has access to. But I think this is really good to just dig into the cards that you really want to see in your hand and just give you full utility access to cards that you can help you deal with like troublesome, like if you brick obviously, which can happen in this deck, Allure just really eliminates that problem. Having 3 of this can just really help you never really brick. And it also helps you dig for cards that can help you extend through Nibiru, Ash, Imperm. Imperm's pretty, Imperm's a really strong card if they hit your Gilgamesh, if you're just trying to go right into a Gilgamesh, so yeah. Yeah, having access to extenders and more cards in your hand and seeing the combo pieces you want is pretty crucial. You always want to generally try to get to a 3-card combo, right? So, and for answers to hand traps, we're going the talents, 1 call by. You never know, this might be different coming up in February. Depends on how impactful some hand traps are. Depends with the ban list, but for now, tactics and call by. For the current metagame is the answer. This deck isn't current metagame, obviously, but tactics and call by right now is just the better package. So yeah, we're just playing those. For answer to hand traps, other one-ofs, Foolish Burial, 1 for 1. Foolish Burial is a great card to extend in this deck. It just gets any piece you want. I think Foolish Burial is actually a great card right now because there's so many cards that you want in the graveyard. It can just place a card, an extender. Like if you get hand trapping, just place like a good card to keep going through, right? So yeah, Foolish Burial and then the 1 for 1. I don't have to explain it. And DD Headhunt. I don't end up searching this card too much, but sometimes I can if I already have the cards I need in my hand. And it's also just a good card to just hard draw too, right? If you hard draw this with the combo, it's like actually impossible for your opponent out, right? So yeah, so that's a 40 card solid. The 2 cards I left out were DD Cerberus and Rage, because generally you could play these if you want, but through testing, this never really came up. I never really needed Cerberus and Rage because basically the only time you really need these 2 cards in your scales is when you have no other level 4. And the way I kind of build the deck is so I always kind of have access to my combo plus an extender, just because the cards like Allure and there's a lot of combo pieces. So I found more so than often I was drawing these cards and not wanting to see them, so I decided to just keep them out. For the amount of like, okay, how do I say this? For the amount of needing, I guess, being needy for the like having a Kepler and like another level 4 as my only options. I'm gonna see these a lot more than that's actually gonna come up. So it is what it is. But if you guys want to play this, you can. I just chose not to, just because, like I said, I was drawing into them more than often, seeing them more than often. I just didn't want to, right? So yeah, we're not playing that for that reason. Like I said, you could play the Ragnarok at 3. I generally vouch for this at 3 in this build, but I just don't have the room to play the third one. And I think it's just fine at 2 just because I just need at least 1 in my scale, right? So yeah, that's it for the main. Let's go right into the extra deck here. So for the fusions, double Genghis, 1 High King Genghis. I'd like to play like D-Arc or something if I had the room, but I really don't. If anything, the next slot will be taken up by a second Machina possibly, but yeah, for now, just these 2 and Genghis. You're probably gonna burn through all of these in one hit, but you'll be able to recycle them on your follow-up, so it's not too big of a deal. Generally, with this deck, you're generally left with most of your combos will leave you with like not much of an extra deck. So yeah, Alexander's your 1 level 7. I don't find myself going into much, but he does come up sometimes, and that's why I still play him. There are certain times where I do actually need to go into this guy to help my combos thrive and to be able to have access to my Siegfried. So yeah. So these are the only 2 synchros that I'm playing outside of my formula package. I'm not playing Crystal Wing because I just don't have the room for it, and I've adjusted my combo so I don't actually have to rely on the Crystal Wing. So yeah, this is the only other outside my formula package, Crystal and Hulk package. That's what I'm playing. And then this card should be a proxy within the next week. The cards are going to be illegal starting later, a couple days actually. It comes out in OTS stores in like a day, so. Baroness is going to be a great card for this deck. I highly recommend you should just play the Hulk package because Baroness is such a good card, being another form of Omni Negation on your board, and also being able to just recycle a card from your graveyard on the standby phase and shuffling himself back in so you can summon him again. And Form of Synchron, just literally a free draw on a Baroness. Really good package, so yeah, don't sleep on it. For our Xyz, Machina, High King Caesar, Marksman King Tell, and Wave King Caesar. So I decided to implement King Tell recently, make this more towards pure. This is kind of my final vouch to go just fully pure. This replaced the Crystal Wing and stuff. I'd like to play this at 2, but honestly, the more I find it, it's like you don't really need a second one because if you're going to use them enough, you're going to burn through your contracts, and then you're not really going to have enough contracts to just use as effects again. If anything, you're probably going to want to play the Zeus, right? But I don't have room for those cards. I'd just rather have the cards that help my combo, help give me extenders and just keep comboing, right? So Caesar and King Tell, these 2 are amazing together. The fact that you can just lay over this, and this card effect when it hits graveyard is not once per turn, so you can just keep foolish barreling cards. You can even send the Dark Contract Field spell, which then can recycle a card from your grave back into your hand, which you can utilize in your hand further on, right? Or furthermore. And then Wave High King Caesar is just, holy moly, this card on its own can like literally end people's days. So like if you pair this with like all your other cards, it's literally GG. Your opponent's not winning that game. So yeah. And we're going for the links here. 1 Hulk, double Gilgamesh, 1 Cross Sheep. I don't find myself going to 2 Gilgamesh too often, but depends on the combo, right? A lot of times I actually just need the 1, but I do play 2 just in case because his second summon just can trigger other cards' effects to special summon, help clear the board, and like certain stuff, like certain things like that, right? Like Gilgamesh, I think is at least, you should play this at least more than 2 to 3 copies now. Hulk, nothing to be said, and then Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep, I implement this sometimes. It's more so for the 1 combo I do still have, my 3-card combo, but it also comes up in grind games through testing against other people on Dueling Book and stuff. It does come up in like grind games where I can just summon this thing, boost my card's attack, and then also just like revive like tuners and stuff and keep pushing through boards. So I actually do really like Cross Sheep just for the fact that it, like I said, just helps me thrive through certain games. So yeah. Anyways, guys, that wasn't the fastest overview of the deck, but I just wanted to really describe what I'm playing and why my ratios are what it is. So let's get right into a 2-card combo I've got to show you guys, and a 3-card combo, and then after that we'll jump right into test hands against certain hand traps. And I'll lay out all those hand traps that I'll be demonstrating with, and yeah, we'll just get right into that. Okay guys, so here's a 2-card combo I'm going to show you guys. I did show you guys another 2-card combo when the stuff first came out. I've been testing with it a little bit more, and I just found, just through playing some of the more pure cards, I found just kind of change it up like a few more times and found out the best way to do this. So surprise, surprise, it's going to be Griffin and Copernicus. These are your 2-card combos. It could be like a Kepler with a Copernicus or whatever, right? But yeah, we're just going to go, a Gate with a Copernicus or whatever, right? Because you want to normal summon the Copernicus. Doesn't really matter too much because you'll be able to, you just need a Copernicus effect of Foolish Burial, but regardless, Copernicus effect, Copernicus gonna Foolish Burial copy of Necroslime. You're going to special Griffin using its own effect. You're going to link these two. And you're going to go right into Gilgamesh effect. Hopefully you don't get impermed. That's like another thing too. If imperm's really popular further on, it might just be a good idea to start playing cross out for the imperm and stuff, just because this can be kind of devastating if you don't have a way to extend and then they just hit you with the imperm. So that's not really something you want to deal with. So your scales are going to be a Thomas and an Orthros, and you're going to burn 1,000. You're going to go Pendulum Summon 2. You're going to pendulum these two. Griffin can use effect to send one and draw. We're just demonstrating with, so let's just say, I don't know. Let's just not do this. So they're all the cards are still organized, so I might need some of them, so who cares? So Griffin can draw, discard, whatever. You can overlay now, and you're going to go, so overlay the Copernicus and the Griffin into a Caesar, and you're going to use Orthros effect here. So Orthros effect, it can target one other DD monster and a spell or trap. So it targets one spell or trap on the field, so any, so you can target itself, and one other DD or dark contract, so you're going to target the other one being the Caesar. So it's going to destroy, pop the Caesar, and you're going to use Caesar's effect now that it's sent from the field to the grave. You can add the spell, so you're going to add the Swamp King here, which you're going to have to. So you add Swamp King here, and you're going to go ahead, this is in your hand, Thomas effect as the Orthros. You can do this whenever, not necessarily whenever, but you probably just want to do this as soon as possible. Just add the Orthros to your hand using Thomas' ability. You're going to use the Necroslime, preferably banishing the Copernicus, because you're going to need these other two more than likely. So you're going to use Necroslime with the Copernicus, and you're going to special summon the Genghis. And then what you're going to do here is going to overlay this for a Machina. Now you're going to trigger Genghis, target special summon the Griffin. Now Griffin, this is first time being revived from the graveyard, so you can use Griffin effect to search. And you're not going to search Headhunt, you're actually going to search Ragnarok here. So you'll search Ragnarok here, and you'll scale Ragnarok. Now you're going to activate Swamp King. So you're going to use Swamp King's ability to fusion summon, so you're going to use Genghis and banish the Caesar in your graveyard. And this will summon a second copy of Genghis. Ragnarok now triggers the one that you searched, so you'll burn 1,000 by special summoning this. And then since you burned 1,000, so you took damage, you can use Orthros effect here to special summon. So now you have a level 4 tuner or level 4. You can make these two into a Siegfried. And you can overlay these two into a Wave Hiking Caesar. So just like that, guys, those two cards, which are very easy to access in this deck, immediately give you access to this whole board. Machina has 2 suck-ups because each contract with Machina has 2 suck-ups, basically, because it can go like suck-up 1, detach 2, and then it becomes, and then if you have another contract, you know it can just suck up. So basically, like, 1 contract is 2, 2 contract is 4 suck-ups for him. That's kind of how Machina works, so yeah. And follow-up, it's whatever you have in your hand, plus Thomas being able to recycle a Griffin or something, right? So it's pretty freaking good. So yeah. And let's get right into the 3-card combo I'm going to showcase you guys. Alright guys, so here's a 3-card combo. Griffin, Copernicus, and Kepler. So I showcased you guys the one with my, when the deck first came out, a certain combo I did where it summoned Crystal Wing, all that stuff, and locked the opponent out of playing certain cards. This one I'm going to showcase you does it the pure way, but it's also going to lock them out of every single mechanic, and I'll show you how. So, I'm going to start off normal summon Kepler. Kepler's going to use the ability to search the gate. So we're going to search gate. Gate's going to use the effect. So obviously we're going to be searching here Swirl Slime. And like I said, if this got Ash or whatever, you can just special summon Griffin, continue on with your 2-card combo because you have Copernicus and Griffin. So you're going to go reveal Swirl Slime, just fusion summon. So Griffin goes to the graveyard, of course, because it has to be special from the graveyard here. You're going to special Genghis. You're going to use Swirl Slime here. So you want to special Genghis here in the far column, or in the middle column, or this column because of Karashi. So I'll be special summoning Genghis in the far column here by my, I just like playing on my left side here, like having my extra EMZ here. So I'll just go leave Genghis by the extra monster zone, or sorry, the extra deck zone, extra deck area, I don't know. And then, so anyways, right now, Swirl Slime is going to banish itself to special summon Copernicus from hand. Copernicus will be Chain Link 2, Genghis 1. So Genghis will resolve after the Copernicus. So Copernicus is going to Foolish Burial a copy of the Lamia here. Here it is, Lamia. I'm going to revive Griffin. Griffin can now use the effect. So Griffin is going to add us a copy of Necroslime. Like I said before, previously in my other video, you want to add the Necroslime, you want to send Lamia because you want Lamia special summon yourself from the graveyard by sending a card from your hand that you search, which will be the Necroslime, which will come up later in the combo. So yeah. Now we're just going to make a rank 4 here. And we're going to go into a, wherever it is, Caesar. Use a Wave King Caesar. Previous combo, I would just link off here, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go King Tell. We're going to link off the King Tell and the Kepler. So again, Necroslime is in your hand right now. And this will special summon the Cross Sheep. The link off of King Tell will allow you to Foolish Burial. So we're going to Foolish Burial, a key piece here. We're going to send the Vice Typhon. And right now we're going to actually use Vice Typhon to fusion summon. So we use Vice Typhon and preferably Copernicus. We want to keep the Griffin in the graveyard. So Vice and Copernicus will be used here. And that'll special summon Big Genghis. Big Genghis summon will now trigger Cross Sheep to target special summon the Lamia. Well, it doesn't target special summon, but you know. We're just going to special summon the Lamia. And we're not going to trigger Big Genghis or anything here. We're just going to go ahead, link these two off. Going to go for a Hulk here. Hulk will use the effect. We're going to special summon Ghost. So we're going to special summon DD Ghost wherever it is. Oh, here it is. DD Ghost. We can trigger Genghis here if we want, but we won't do that just yet. So we're going to use these two. So we're going to do this now. I want to do this now with Synchro Summon of a level 8 because, so I'll summon this first. Summon Siegfried here. And now the reason why I want to do this is because I have a Lamia already in my grave. My Ghost will be able to activate. This will be able to Foolish Burial. Not too huge, but I mean, you get a second Lamia in the graveyard for when you activate the other one. Now you're going to use Lamia's effect here. You're going to send the Necroslime for cost to special summon. And now that'll trigger Genghis. Target special summon the Wave King Caesar. And you want to summon Wave King Caesar here because you're going to use it for link material. You're going to use 1. You're going to use 2. This will get banished. Summon Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh 1. Caesar 2. Caesar will allow you to add the patented contract documents here. And we're going to go Gilgamesh to set the scale. So you're going to set the Ragnarok and you're going to set the Apocalypse here. And so this is the only card in your hand right now, this contract. You're going to go ahead and go Necroslime effect to fusion summon. So you're going to use this and the Ghost because then Ghost can recycle a card. You're going to summon Genghis. Chainlink 1 Ragnarok. Target special summon the other Genghis. Chainlink 2 Ghost. So I'll put back a Swirl Slime for the purpose of recursion's sake. So Swirl Slime will go back in. And we're going to special summon off Ragnarok, burn 1,000 for the Genghis. We're going to overlay these two. This will go into a Wave High King Caesar. And we're going to special summon the Apocalypse here, which will banish. Doesn't really matter too much what we banish here, but I'm going to banish probably. I don't think I'll need the Caesar. And you know what? I probably don't need King Tell either. It doesn't really matter. I probably won't need them for follow-up. I'd probably rather have these cards in my graveyard. Doesn't really matter too much. And I'm going to transform this guy into a Machina. And I'm going to activate Patented Dark Control of the documents. So this is your end board with that 3-card combo. It's actually insane because, so now what you're looking at here is Hulk can transform into the formula. Formula can then transform into a Baroness using the Genghis, so you still have your Siegfried and stuff up. But they are locked out of every single mechanic. So I'll just leave these up here. This can be the option for either of these two. Probably the Genghis. But the reason why this is crazy is because you also have a draw off of Formula 2, let's keep that in mind. But the reason why it's crazy is because Machina on itself is 4 suck-ups. And once this hits grave, you can recycle either the Kepler or any card in your graveyard, like a Griffin. And so like I said, 4 suck-ups, Siegfried, Spell and Trap Negate, Caesar, 2 freaking Summon Negates. It's just crazy. And they're locked out of every single mechanic they can only do it once, summon once each, because I have a Synchro, I have a Fusion, I have an Xyz, and I have a Link. So it really constricts them to what they can do. The odds are of them actually getting out of this, especially with the follow-up, because also on your follow-up, you also get your draw plus your search, and then this card can also go in the scale, and then special summon Ragnarok if you have the room for it by putting Griffin back into your scale, and then Griffin can boost any of your monsters. It's just actually insane. So yeah, that's the new combo that I came up for the 3-card combo. So yeah, let's just jump right into the hand trap play around kind of deal, whatever I'm gonna call it. Play testing against hand traps. I don't know. Let's get right into that. All right, guys. So now here's time for the big one. It's gonna be infinite impermanence. The reason why the imperm is going to be the big one next to Nibiru is because if we don't have a way to if we have a bit of a mediocre hand that relies on the 2-card combo, and they are smart and they imperm the Gilgamesh, which I could feel like as time goes on, people won't start dropping imperm. It really depends. Like, the way I'm going to put it is, a good player that will know this deck will not imperm a starter card. They're probably going to imperm the Gilgamesh. Like, they can see if we're going for the 2-card combo. Sometimes they can't, right? Like, sometimes they might just want to stop the Kepler. But doing an imperm on something like a Gilgamesh, if you only have access to 2-card combo, can like really stun you, right? So let's just see what we get. See how well we can play through an imperm. Like I said, guys, the last combo I didn't really follow through with it because it's just going to be a whole another thing of me just going full combo with like the rank 6 to level 8 and the Machina with a field lock. There's not really much of a point of me falling through there. You kind of just can see how easily the deck can push through an Ash, and it does open that well quite consistently. Ash, and like I said, if we open our 2-card combo, Ash isn't really going to deal too much damage to us, as we can still Gilgamesh sets our scales and we can still already get a bunch of cards rolling by then. So Ash isn't the worst card against us, especially if it's used incorrectly. It's really not that scary. So yeah. So let's see how we can deal with an imperm here. So let's see. So Swamp King, Orthros, DD Headhunt, Talents, Call by. This is a terrible hand. So will I mulligan this hand? More than likely, because there's really nothing to imperm. So let's just go ahead and mulligan this hand. I don't think I've ever done a mulligan on this channel, but I'm just gonna have to do it because there was no way for me to even start comboing. So I did have Headhunt and Call by, which could have actually stalled for for a turn, which is pretty good actually. But yeah, it's not a hand that can even play into imperm at all. So I'm not even gonna bother. I'm just gonna mulligan it. That was probably one of the worst test hands I think I've ever gotten with this deck since the new stuff came out. So just hope we don't open something like that again. So maybe it'll work better if I just do the original way. I reveal my hand. So I draw the 5, Lamia, Griffin, Allure, Kepler. This is like an insane hand, guys. Again, have all the combo pieces I need. I have an Allure. So I might as well just start off. I could bait my opponent with Kepler, but they're going to have to do something because imperm... they see I have full combo. I mean, imperm's not really gonna do much to this hand, but see Allure of Darkness, so I can banish either one. I actually don't have access to the Swirl Slime, so banishing this Necro Slime. I'm gonna go ahead, normal summon Kepler. They'll probably let that resolve. This is just an absurd hand, so we're just gonna search this, the gate, and use gate effect to search, and we're gonna go ahead and grab a copy of Copernicus here. So we're going to go Swirl Slime effect here. So we'll banish this and the Griffin. We're going to send that in the Griffin. We're going to send the Genghis. Sorry, I might want to keep Kepler here just in case I want to slot for the Gilgamesh here, but it's probably not going to come up. So you want Griffin in the graveyard, obviously, because you want to special summon it. And then we're going to go banish Swirl Slime to special summon. So we're going to special summon Copernicus. We're going to go chain block. We're going to chain block the gangs because we want this to be chain 1. This will be chain 2. And let's say a smart player here will imperm the Genghis. So let's put an imperm on the Genghis. This is now negated and it won't be able to revive Griffin. So that does kind of stun us a little bit, but let's see what we can do. So if that's going to happen, I'm going to think, well, what do I want to do here? So if that's the case, I can't summon Griffin, which will probably add me... Not really too sure what I want it to add me right now, but it's not huge because if they're going to imperm the Genghis, that could hinder me from doing a couple things. But I'm probably going to want to put, it really doesn't matter what I can put in my graveyard right now. I might just want to go a step further here and just say, hey, I'm just going to send Vice Typhon here because I already have access to Necro Slime. Not a big deal, right? So what I can do here is now I can just go like, okay, I'm going to use Lamia's effect here, send the Necro Slime, and special summon itself. Now I can just be like, okay, well, I'll go like this. Now I have access to a Hulk here. I'll use these two. And then Hulk will come into play here. Hulk will use the effect. I'll get this Imperm, put the Imperm here. So they already burned through an Imperm. Hulk will be able to special summon from the deck. Now we don't have a Lamia here, and I might want another copy of Lamia, or I might just want the copy of Ghost here, just in case. But I believe I'm just going to go for a Lamia here. I'm going to special the Lamia. And then I'm going to go link these two here. And we're going to go for Gilgamesh here. Let's pretend we didn't put Genghis there. I do need a Pendulum Summon here. So, generally, if that were the case and I got Imperm, because I do normally want to summon my Genghis here, maybe put Hulk here, summon Hulk here. That way you can have a space to Pendulum Summon. You just need that space to Pendulum Summon. So, but I generally do want my Genghis here just so I can activate I was going for the cross sheet play. So let's get Hulk here and then just put the Gilgamesh here, doesn't matter. So we're going to set the scales off Gilgamesh. And then we're going to place Ragnarok, and we need a Pendulum Summon, so we're going to place the Orthros. I usually like placing Orthros because then it can give me an option to pop it and then just leave room for Machina on the standby phase to place itself in the Pendulum Zone. We're going to Pendulum Summon 1 here because we want to go for the rank 4. We're going to go Ragnarok here, and we're going to special Griffin. Griffin can now use the effect to search, so we're actually going to search a Headhunt here. I don't really think we need much more, so we can search the Headhunt here. Now, as you guys can see, I can go into the rank 4, and I can do as I please here. Like I can go for the King Tell, link these two off, or just pop it with Orthros to save up some extra to save another Gilgamesh for later in my combos. But basically here, guys, what I'm trying to show you is that now I have full access to the rank 4. I have burned through a Genghis, but now I do have access to Typhon and Necro Slime in my graveyard, so this is definitely going to be full combo. I'm going to have also, I'll have Hulk pretty well with the Headhunt as well. I'm able to search the Headhunt. I'm not going to follow through with this just because once I have access to rank 4, I'm able to link it off and still use the effect of search while having a Lamia and fusion cards in my graveyard. It's basically telling you guys I do have my full combo. So I'm just going to get right into the next one where I'm going to do showcase you guys how I'm going to play through 2 hand traps, okay? Alright guys, so we're going to try playing through an Ash and an Imperm. So a lot of times people, with the ratios people will play, they may have 2 cards stop us, like an Ash and an Imperm. So like I said earlier guys, basically, I don't know if you noticed, but once I've gotten access to the rank 4, I basically kind of stopped there because I did demonstrate the combos beforehand just so I could kind of show you guys what's going on. I'm trying to like fit this all into a video. I just don't really want to go through all that combo process and take up a lot of time just trying to do that right, because I kind of want to get through about 5 things. I kind of want to do like an Imperm and a Veiler and stuff after, and then go through like what happens when I get Nibiru and possibly like a hand trap plus Nibiru and try to play through that. So I kind of just want to be time conservative of this just because I know I'm trying to fit all this in one video. But I think it's very helpful to show you guys, like I said, when I first showcase you guys the first couple combos so you get an idea of where I can go from there. And I'm pretty sure like once you guys see like I have the XCs and then I have like the Graveyard Fusions plus the Lamia, I don't really have to like show you too much more. It does kind of just end off being the rank 6, the Synchro, and the Machina with the Hulk that last one was. So yeah. I'm just kind of showing you guys what route I'm kind of going towards after I get hit with a hand trap and what the best options are to go to, right? So yeah, to lead into those plays, right? So yeah, so let's see how we deal with an Impermanent Ash. Sometimes that can be really hurtful to us. We don't always open amazing, but this deck generally, especially like I said with the new support, has a lot more options and it has a lot more plays for consistency. So yeah, so we're gonna start off with our 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to go Gate, Alert, Contract, Swamp King, Lamia. This hand might be a bit scary against an Ash and an Imperm, but we can see how this rolls. We're kind of relying on the Alert here, but let's see what happens. So we're going to go ahead and activate the Alert. So we're probably going to have to banish the Lamia. We kind of are hoping on drawing into a any other dark. So let's see what happens. So okay, so we did draw 2 darks. The reason why I'm kind of like okay with that is because we opened 4 spells and 1 Lamia. Generally, since I'm playing a deck that has 25 monsters, I am kind of less so. I'm not risking it as much because I do know a lot of my deck still is monsters since I still have 24 left in my 35 card deck. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and it really depends what I want to banish. I might want to just get rid of the Lamia because Copernicus is honestly a bit more important combo piece here. They're not gonna ask that, right? So it really depends. Having the Copernicus with the Swirl Slime, this could be like a little bit scary. It kind of depends, but so let's just see what happens here. So we're gonna go gate effect to search. They're probably gonna meet that with an Ash. That's okay. So we can't search. We have Copernicus and we have Swirl Slime. What can we do here? It's hard to say. It's not amazing, but it could be something, right? So if they have Imperm, it's really something we can't do too much about. But let's just see what happens here. So let's see. I have Swirl Slime. I have 2 combo pieces. One of them is a Copernicus. One of them is a Swirl Slime. I also have 2 contracts. So this could be okay. It really depends what I want to sit on here. I could go Swirl Slime. I could use a Swirl Slime effect here. So let's see. I could use Swirl Slime, or I could just go normal summon Copernicus, use the effect. So what I am going to do here is I'm going to go normal summon Copernicus, use the effect. I'm going to have to utilize the amount of combo pieces that I have right now, which is obviously only 2. So this, I don't know they have an Imperm, but I'm kind of just like hoping that they don't, right? But having just these 2 is kind of risky. So with Copernicus effect, they're going to meet this with an Imperm, I guess. So if they meet this with an Imperm, we're like, oh crud, okay, so I can't Foolish now. What am I going to do? Well, I can activate Swamp King here, and I can send this, Fusion Summon, and I can summon a Genghis. So this is my only play I can really do here, but I can activate Contract with the documents, and now since we have the 1 card XEs, we can just go into this guy. So basically, that hand wasn't amazing, but it is still, we can still do something under an Impermanent Ash here because we have access to this guy. So it wasn't a lot. Like I said, I only really had access to 2 pieces, but only having access to 2 pieces was still able to push through an Ash and an Imperm. And I'm still able to summon this guy, which potentially actually has 6 suck-ups. And they're kind of locked. They can only do 1 XE summon. So basically I can just be like, pop, suck up, detach, suck up, effect, suck up. And then this card can also recycle any Dark Contract card, right? Like I can recycle the Contract, the Swamp King. So it kind of did play around. It kind of did play around 2 hand traps fairly efficiently. If I did have access to a lot of combo pieces, it would have been a lot easier. But kind of impressed with how the Machina can just play around through 2 hand traps. Kind of your last resort, right? So yeah. And now I'll do one with Imperm and Veiler. So let's get into that. Alright guys, so this will be the second last combo I'm going to showcase to you guys. So yeah, it's going to be against a Veiler and an Imperm, 2 fairly impactful cards, especially when they're paired together. It's very like, we actually do need a pretty on par hand to out that. If we do brick by any means, it doesn't really, we can't really have a plethora of play around cards to do against that. But this deck does have a reputation, unfortunately, of losing to 1 hand trap. Guys, that is not the case. This deck, basically, it really comes down to the skill level of the person that's dropping it and then the skill level of the pilot. So if someone's just going to shotgun Veilers and Imperm because they're just comfortable that they have 2 solid hand traps against you, and you're a good pilot, you're going to be able to blow through their board like nothing. If they are smart about their cards, but against DDD, it really depends. No one ever really knows where to hit them unless they see they're going right for a Gilgamesh, which will probably be the case in February where Gilgamesh is going to be the bigger Imperm target. Yeah, it really just comes down to the skill level of the pilot, the hand you've got, obviously, and the person dropping the hand traps. So it's really what it comes down to, guys. So 5 cards, 2, 3, 4, 5, solid hands. So let's see what happens here. So like I said, guys, we play 3 of all these cards. It's not the whole point of the whole purpose of this deck is to get to all these combo pieces. So let's just jump right into this. We use Gate to use the effect of search. I'm going to go for a Griffin here. And I'm going to go normal summon Copernicus. Before I even do that, actually, if I really want to bait my opponent, before I even do that, I'm going to normal summon here. So I'll go normal summon Copernicus, use the effect. because this is a starter that they might think, since they have 2 hand traps, most players will be like, okay, well, whatever, I can just hit this with a Veiler. So they're down to 1 hand trap. Okay, that's fine. How are we going to deal with that? Well, we're going to go gate, effective search. Yep, so we're going to have access to these combo pieces now. We're going to go swirl sign effect, send the Griffin. And we're going to summon the Genghis here. We're going to go for a full combo here like we normally would. We're going to banish the swirl sign. And we're going to special summon the Necro Slime. Triggering Genghis, target special summon the DD Griffin. DD Griffin special summon is a huge plus, so they're probably just going to imperm this. Most players would, because it turns off a Genghis for the whole turn. It also gets rid of the plus that a Griffin has from being special from the graveyard. So now we're thinking, okay, well, we have a Ragnarok in hand, which is a pretty good extender if we don't want to set scales. But you know what? We still have a really good plethora of plays here, because now we can just go like this. Okay, whatever. Link 2 goes into a Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh uses effect, set scales. So I'm going to go ahead, set the... I'm going to set Ragnarok because I do have to special summon from the graveyard to revive. And we're going to go ahead and scale wherever Orthros is. Here's Orthros. Going to scale Orthros. Going to burn 1,000. And we're going to go Pendulum Summon 1. Trigger Ragnarok, special summon. Griffin effect triggers. Now that we have like pretty much all our pieces, Griffin can now add something. So we already have a Ragnarok in hand. We can actually add the Headhunt, which is amazing because now we have access to the Headhunt. Now we can generally just climb into our full combo, right? We can start going for the XEs. XEs play. We have a Genghis already face up, so we can climb into the XEs plays. Use Orthros to get rid of the XEs, or just, you know, like I said, guys. Basically, once we have access to the XEs, it's just pretty intense. It's just, there's not really much explaining to go through. Like I said, I'm not really trying to like climb through these combos too much. But once we have access to the XEs, it gives us a huge option, because now we can just go to the XEs, we can go into this guy, and just keep recurring them over and over. So I'm not going to go too much further into that, and just to shorten the video a bit, as there is, like I said, a lot being covered. But yeah, let's get into the final combo with Nibiru. Like I said, just easily played through two big hand traps, because basically, like I said, guys, once you have this going, the rank 4 going, you're just going to be able to get your plays going. It's just simple as that, right? So yeah, let's get right into the last combo here. Okay, guys, so last combo I am going to showcase to you guys will be against Nibiru. So I haven't been faced with the Nibiru yet with the new stuff. Typically with the older stuff, like the older style of play, when I go into a Crystal Wing, I generally showcase where the choke point would be, where you would summon the final summon before you get to Crystal Wing, is where the good players actually respond to you, right? Here it's hard to say because you don't get locked into you don't get locked into Fiends most of the time, so it really depends on the hand. So I'm not exactly sure with the opponent. It really depends on the opponent, but I'm going to try to find like the most threatening spot of the combo, and then when I get to it, I'll probably just drop the Nibiru and then see how I can play around it, right? So who knows, it might be a hand that just straight up dies to Nibiru, which can happen, but as long as we have access to an extender, we're usually pretty good. So yeah. So draws 5 cards. Amazing hand, like couldn't have asked for a better hand here. Let's see what happens here. So I got a normal summon the Kepler, use the effect. So a good way to save time, I guess, could have just demonstrated straight up just the full combo maybe, because I just drew into the full combo. So yeah, like I said, this is a long video, guys, but let's just keep going here. So this is the last combo I'm showing you, but this is through the beer. Gonna grab the Swirl Slime and use the effect. So we're gonna use the Griffin and the Swirl because we want Griffin in the graveyard. Summons the Genghis, banish, special summon, chain 1, chain 2. Copernicus being chain 2. So Copernicus is gonna foolish the Lamia. We're gonna special summon, Griffin will trigger, add the Necro Slime. We already have DD Headhunt in hand, so this is a very good showcase of what the true potential that DDD can do through Nibiru. So they might, yeah, they can't Nibiru us here because we're only on the 4th summon. So here we're gonna go into a Wave King Caesar, and then we're gonna go into a King Tell, They probably aren't going to Nibiru's here because they don't see us as a threat just yet. I would say a good player won't anyways. We're going to go into a cross sheep here, and then we're going to go, so we're going to go ahead and use, sorry, I literally missed a step. King Tell is supposed to Foolish Burial. So King Tell, Typhon. So Typhon's going to use the effects, going to fusion summon using itself with the Copernicus. And we're going to summon Big Genghis. So we're going to do what we normally do here. And we're going to go cross shape effect. Can now special summon the Lamia. Now they might not want us getting access to another tuner. So they might just be like, okay, he has access to Appaloosa. There's a lot of things because they don't know because we're not locked into Fiends. It's hard to know because, again, like I said, I'm not locked into Fiends. And they don't want, they might not want us getting another tuner, access to Hulk, whatever, right? So they might just drop into Nibiru here. This is kind of like a similar choke point like before when I had, I'm just kind of trying to relate it to before you go into crystalling. So they're probably just going to drop Nibiru here, let's just say, for example. Because worst case scenario, if we go like the whole way and they just drop Nibiru, we can just pop Ragnarok and scale and then just fusion summon the rank 6, pretty much. So yeah. Well, let's just say they do that here, which is a pretty interesting time to do it. So we'll just say they do it there. Everything's triggered off the board. And it's like, okay, so what do we do here? So there's a plethora of things we can do here. So we already used Typhon. So what we're going to do is we have Ragnarok, which is a great extender through Nibiru. So we're going to place Ragnarok on the scale. We're going to go ahead, use Lamia's effect here to send the Necro Slime for cost to special summon. And we're going to use Ragnarok's effect here, target special summon the Genghis here. And we're going to go ahead, we haven't used Necro Slime yet, so we're going to use Necro Slime using Necro, and probably let's just use the Griffin, let's use Griffin here, it doesn't really matter too much. And we will special summon the Genghis here, and then we'll go 1, 2, get rid of the Nibiru token. We're going to special the Hulk. Hulk will use the effect. Copy of Lamia here. And then I'll go 1, 2. Special Alexander. Triggers the Genghis here. This can target special summon the Caesar if I really wanted to. Can do a lot of things here. But I can just go for special summon the Caesar here. And then Alexander triggers. Special summons a Lamia here. So I use these two. And I'll summon Siegfried. And then I'll use these two. I'll go Gilgamesh here. Gilgamesh can't use the effect, but what I can do is use Caesar, which can grab the spell. Patent Dark Contracts. Gonna activate the contracts, set the DD Headhunt, and I'm gonna activate this. So generally what this becomes now is a DD Headhunt. This has 4 suck-ups. This is a Siegfried. This can turn into a Baroness, pretty much. So there's a few different ways I could do it. Like I could still be able to summon the rank 6, but I found this is just a good way because I have easy access to Hulk now, and this is just enough. Like this is, like I said, I have access to the 4 material suck-ups. They're restricted to XCs and Synchro. They have to go under this, the DD Headhunt, and I have formula to draw me and then go into a Baroness for my follow-up play. So I just kind of visualize that as the best option I have while Ragnarok is still up, and then this can go on my scale and my standby if I really want to. So that's just like the best option I had through my hand. Obviously, really good hand to play through Nibiru, but guys, you'll see that a lot because this deck opens really good hands when you have it consistent enough to opening all the combo pieces consistently. So anyways, guys, I'm going to end the video here. My locals is coming up in a sec, so I just kind of rushed through that a little bit. But yeah, guys, that is a good way to play around Nibiru. Like I said, it's a really weird place for them to play around Nibiru, but like I said, you go through the whole thing, and then before you summon the rank 6, they can drop in Nibiru. Then you could basically just use your Necro Slime, summon another Genghis, and then just trigger Ragnarok later on your combo. Just make the rank 6. No one really knows where to Nibiru this deck, I feel like, especially when you have possible Appaloosa presence, right? So yeah, bit of a mess of cards, but yeah, guys, it's like pretty much all you need to end the game, right? So yeah, I hope you guys like that, and that was a long freaking video, but yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.